This week's episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob is not brought to you by Scotch, vodka, tuxedos, or spoons.
Make me laugh, make me cry. Don't go in there, you're going to die. Grab a drink, grab a remote, pass the popcorn and away we go. I was a teenage film snob, baby. I was a teenage film snob, baby.
Welcome to I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I'm James Chalmers, your friendly neighborhood film snob, and this week it is a Pod Squad episode. I was going to say solo show, but that would be a lie. It's a Pod Squad show. Nick and Maddie are back. I almost called Maddie Tina, so clearly I'm off to a great start. We're using new software tonight, so I'm losing my mind. I'll just introduce them and then we'll talk about what we're talking about. Welcome, Maddie. Welcome back. How you doing?
Doing all right. We had a lovely day. Lots of time outside for me today, so I'm in good spirits.
Oh, lovely. And welcome back, Nick. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, James. Thank you very much for having me back on, and I'm excited.
Good. And as soon as we start recording, that's when there was a delay, so off to a good start. Glad to have you both back. We are talking about one of my favorite films of all time this evening. Should we bury the lead a little bit and do a little bit of catch-up on films first, or should we just dive straight into it? What do you guys want to do? Are you saying no, just get straight into it, Maddie?
I want to talk about it.
Okay. Months ago, I announced that I'd received a copy of my favorite movie on Blu-ray, one of my favorite movies, and that was going to be the next movie we talked about, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened. And then it was announced that not only was The Room going to be playing in Melbourne, which it does from time to time, but star of The Room, Greg Sestero, was going to be coming to Melbourne. So we were like, we have to go and do it. We have to go and watch The Room. We have to go see it in person. We have to go meet Greg. And for Nick, Nick, you were the true expert here. You've seen the film multiple times. You've met Greg Sestero before. I have seen The Room multiple times at home and in theaters, but never met Greg. And Maddie, everything was new to you. So it was really quite an interesting trilogy. The three of us going in with different levels of experience. Maddie, you also celebrated by making a shirt, which I was very excited by. Didn't wear it tonight. I should have given you it's very cold in Victoria, so I understand you wanted to rug up. Should we do a bit of a breakdown of what The Room is, or do you just want to dive into the actual experience and then we'll just kind of talk about it as we go?
I think a bit of background on what The Room is helpful. Mm-hmm. I mean, not everyone will probably have heard of it. So This film came out in 2003, I believe. James, fact check. It sure
did.
That. Yes. And,
it's definitely 2003, yeah.
Directed, written, produced, edited, and starring a guy called Tommy Wiseau. Still not 100% on the pronunciation of his name. And
I'm not sure he is, to be honest.
Also, origin unknown. I don't think anyone knows where he's from either.
Where he's from, how old he is. The guy's a mystery. He's a true modern enigma.
And then there's all this lore about how he financed it. You know, I don't think he's from money, so there's all this lore about how he befriended this older lady who left him this money in a will or something like that. And it's funny, I think from what I understand of the history of this film, it was released without a lot of fanfare. And then Greg actually told the story in this session about some film students seeing it late at night and then like loving it so much that it started this sort of culture around watching it with your friends, and it became an interactive experience. But it's famous for being like the greatest bad film of all time, which I think is a pretty apt description. And it's just got this second life. I thought it was just like a Melbourne thing, but it seems like it's playing all around the world in cinemas still, where people go, you throw spoons at the screen for reasons that'll probably come up. You yell things out. I think we'll get into the plot as we talk, but that's probably a good bit of background. Maybe before, Maddie, you give your fresh take. I should say I've probably seen it more times. It's probably the film I've seen most in the world, which is just so sad.
I don't think it is. But anyway, continue.
Maybe the final superlative that I can give it is it's probably changed my idea of like what a good film is, because back in my pretentious days, I probably would have thought a good film had to have like Oscar-winning performances, really like hoity-toity directing, really up one's own ass kind of thing. But you can enjoy this kind of like trash for what it is, it's a highly enjoyable experience. So I thought, James, what's your history with it? How many times would you have seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it probably, if not 10 times by now, definitely closing in on double figures. I first heard about it, I want to say in 2009, but I didn't get around to watching it until maybe a couple of years later. I was at a friend's place and we were all hanging out. None of us were drinkers, so we were just kind of, snacking on crisps and soft drink. And we were like, oh, what are we gonna do? And I was like, oh, The Room. We should see if it's available online. And it was just sitting there on YouTube. So we knocked back, in an hour and a half or whatever it was, and just watched the flick. And even stone cold sober, it was such an enjoyable experience, because people often attribute to it's a great movie for when you're high, it's a great movie when you're drinking. I don't drink anymore. I haven't drunk in years. I've never smoked weed or anything like that, and I get so much enjoyment out of it. And I agree with you. I think there is this level of pretension. When the film first came out and kind of gathered this cult status, a lot of people were watching it ironically, and I would probably put myself in that camp at least for the first few times when it was a lot more snobby. But what I really like about this flick, the more I watch and the more I learn about it, is that, say what you will about the quality of this movie, this guy did what so many film fans want to do. He made a movie, and released it, and people are still talking about it over 20 years later. If that's not success, I don't really know what is. And there's some legitimately, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's a brilliant piece of art. It is what it is. But it's not like everyone in the film is terrible. Greg Sestero is a decent actor. Even with the dialogue he's given, even with the stuff he has to do, he's a decent actor. And I've seen him in other stuff since. I watched Best Friends, which he wrote, and he's great in it. The problem is that just everything about it doesn't make sense. They did everything the wrong way. Instead of renting cameras, they bought cameras. Instead of shooting on digital or film, they shot on both and taped the cameras side by side, so that way every shot is slightly off center. I don't know if you knew this, Maddie, but it was written as a play originally, which is why every single character has an entrance and an exit for every scene. Because, you hear that, and you're like, oh, that makes sense, actually.
That makes so much sense.
But I've watched it a lot. I've watched it more than The Godfather, more than Schindler's List, more than Saving Private Ryan. All these, amazing films that, kind of sit in the pantheon of greatness. I haven't watched anywhere near as many times as The Room. Except for my favorite films, The Room is probably one of my most watched movies as well. It's just so entertaining. And I would go one step further to say that The Room is very responsible for this podcast. My whole idea of no film is truly bad if every film is someone's favorite movie, then that is kind of based on, at least somewhat, on my love of The Room. People thought we were going to make fun of it, but we're getting serious and nice.
Well, I'm keen, Maddie, what did you know anything about it?
So I've heard a couple of the main one-liners. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
That's a pretty solid Tommy Wiseau.
I've heard it so many times I can do it, even though I'd never seen anything extension from that. Or, I don't know what else I've seen. I've heard cheep, 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 cheep. I've heard that one before. So, I've heard it in passing, and, it just, because people would tell you it's so bad, but it's so funny. And I'm not into so bad, it's so funny. I can't do it. And when you guys it's playing, you should go see it, let's try it. I was definitely let's do it, because one, I want to go see a movie with my friends. Two, you guys told me that it was very audience participation interactive. And I was so down for such a new cinematic experience. I've never gone to anything like that. The closest I can think of is going to, the MSO, when the MSO play the live music over a film. So
can you imagine if the MSO did The Room?
Oh, for fuck's sake. you'd never hear them because everyone would be talking and yelling and screaming over them. But that's the only sort of, interactive cinematic experience I've ever been to. So I was definitely down to go. I knew that I would enjoy the vibe. I just knew I would because you guys, I trust your opinions when you're like, no, you won't like this, or yes, you will. I trust you. So you like the vibes, it'll be fine. But part of me was apprehensive because I've seen so many bad year 12 boy media films. I'm not a media teacher at the moment, but I've seen so many bad films made by teenage boys that I was really worried that I would sit there and be looking at you two like, this is dog shit, and have to I don't know. I was just nervous. I was like, what the fuck? What do I do if I really hate it? And we got there, and within I reckon within 10 seconds of being there and looking around the room at who was there, I was like, everyone's here to have a good time, and everyone's here not taking themselves seriously. So already the weight was off my shoulders. We got in and we sat down immediately. I was like, hey, Nick, am I having a stroke? Is it really hot in here? And it was boiling hot.
Yeah, I had a mini anxiety attack.
Yes.
I said to you after, I was like, oh my God, my heart rate won't go down.
I don't know what was going on. I stripped off. I had to I took a top off underneath the top, and everyone was looking at me funny, and I was like, I'm dying. It's too hot in here.
There were lots of jokes up front about you going to the movies with your two boys.
I was like, let's make up a story, okay?
more than I was expecting for a night out with the pod squad, but I was having a good time, so it was all right.
No, and so already my expectations was either I'm going to hate this and I'm going to feel so bad because you both love it and you both really enjoy the experience and the spectacle of being involved in the film. And so I was really worried about that. And then as soon as it started, within 10 seconds, I reckon I was just laughing and laughing. And the group that we were with, the cinematic group that we were with, was so good. There was not just 2 or 3 voices. There was all this ad-libbing happening. There was all the the participation that is the normal creed of the film and the participation style. You could tell what was I don't know what I'm trying to say, in the vein of the traditions, but then there was some other ones that were definitely new and thrown out, and the whole audience just loved it. So the experience was, I mean, look, I will say the experience was way more enjoyable than the film, but I still heavily enjoyed what the film was giving to then make the audience respond that way. And I loved that those main memes and those main jokes that I've heard, I finally got to experience them. And they were just as outlandish and stupid and funny. And I really respected that, Greg leans into it. I love that he's it's ridiculous, and how fucked is this? And I just like that he's on our level as well, but he's not trashing the film.
No.
It's just very honest about this is what it is, and this was absurd, and this was ridiculous, and Tommy told us to do it this way, and it was a really fun night. The film is what it is. What it is. There was just some things that I could not stop laughing. By the end, my jaw was so sore. I had to go home and take a Panadol because I was just so sore in my whole jaw from laughing and smiling. It was fucking funny. It was so funny.
And
I think I think you'd mentioned that you were worried that you wouldn't enjoy it, and I was like, I don't worry about it. I was like, it doesn't matter if you do or you don't, I promise.
No, try again, Nick.
Have you got me?
No. Try again, Nick.
No.
Oh my goodness. We've got the black screen of death. Where's he gone?
He's disappeared.
Oh,
Can
no.
you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yep.
Yes.
No. No, we can't.
I will say one thing that was bothering me the whole time was everyone kept leaving the fucking door open.
Yeah.
It was bothering me so much, and I'm so glad that everyone else was yelling at the screen, shut the door!
Yeah.
Shut the door! Because all I wanted to do was yell at them, shut the door! What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I heard Nick clearing his throat. Are you there, Nick?
I am, but can you hear me all right?
Yes, you're back.
Tell us, what were you going to say?
Oh, I can't even remember. Okay, yeah, no. I was going to say...
So I said to Maddie, you don't need to worry about... Sorry, go on. Why did I do it?
I don't
Go!
I think I was going to say that what I really love about the film is like the earnestness with which Tommy Wiseau, like, he has this unwavering belief that he has created like a masterpiece, and I think that's quite sweet, actually. And like, it's not tongue in cheek, and it wasn't made to be silly. And it's just, I think he's like a force of nature. I don't know if he's particularly talented, but just a force of nature nonetheless.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. And what I was saying before, Maddie, to alleviate your worries, like, it doesn't matter if you enjoy it or you don't enjoy it. I think like I think it's maybe the only movie where if you walked out and you're like, that was amazing, I loved it, people are like, right? And if you walked out and you're like, man, that was garbage, I hated every second of it, we'd be like, right? Like, it's just, it's almost immune to criticism, because it's just, I think we even said to you going in, like, don't treat it like any other movie. Like, normally when you go into a movie, you have expectations. This is not that. Like, you have to leave your expectations at the door and just go with the ride that it is. And you're going to have so much fun, hopefully. And I did the thing that you always do when you show friends something you really like. I was checking, like, constantly. I was looking over my shoulder, like, to see your reaction. And every time I looked, you just had this massive, like, grin plastered on your face. I was like, all right, good. She's digging it.
Yeah, I think every now and again I'd lean over to you and say something, or I'd lean over to Nick, and it was nice just sitting. I made sure I sat in the middle, and so I sat in the middle, and I was just like, hee hee hee, this is great. Or I'd lean in and be like, who the fuck is that guy? And then the audience would be like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
There's just little things I was like, oh, cool. Like, I do know what's going on. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Like, again, like, you can see why people love going back to it. The first time I ever went to seeing it at a screening, I didn't love it. I think Nick and I went together, if I remember correctly. Afterwards, Nick and I were like, we get it. You've seen the movie. Shut up. People were getting way too involved, like a little bit too involved. Whereas this time, I agree. I thought the audience participation was a much better level. They seemed to be doing it. It was very much in the spirit of the film, as opposed to people just showing off how much they'd seen in the room, which was nice.
Did you guys shit your pants like I did, like the little goody two-shoes that I am, when they all started lighting up their lighters in the air? There were so many of them in the movie theater with their lighters on, and I was like, oh no. I just kept thinking, what if the sprinklers go on and we get kicked out? And then I've only seen 15 minutes of the film. I was like panicking, and like my teacher hat rolled in. I was so close to standing up and being like, excuse me. That still, and I was like, no, just be part of it. Just be part of it. Just come on, go with the vibes, go with the flow. And I just sat there and held my tongue and like clenched my butt cheeks, being like, oh my God, there's fire in the movie theater.
just not the details I was expecting in the story, but good to know.
As if you weren't doing it too, Nick. You were like,
Yeah, I was definitely like...
I'm like a stickler for safety, so...
We
were both like, oh no.
I was looking around to see if like an usher was going to tell them off. I'm like, I know you guys do this every month, but like, is this cool?
It must have been. And all the spoons, I think I commented when we sat down before the film even started, there was a man like 2 rows in front of us that walked in with like an absurd amount of spoons in his hands. And I thought it would only be like one moment of the film where we needed them, and he walked in with so many, and I was like, what a greedy pig. Like, what's going on? You don't need that many. That's ridiculous. And then after like the 3rd or 4th go of the salmon migration of the spoons to the front of the thing, I was like, right, I should have gotten more spoons. And I was really hoping that the people at the front would pick them up and start going backwards so they could come on. But that's just my suggestion. And I loved at the, like, I think it was maybe 10 minutes to go mark, 10 minutes to the end mark, the ushers came in early and started like collecting all the like bamboo spoons, and you can hear because I didn't want anyone to like trip on their way out or like, you know, sue them for whatever. And so you could hear them like collecting them at the front as the like big climax of the films and stuff is starting to happen. Oh, so funny.
Imagine the cinema got sued because someone broke their leg watching The Room. Like,
I tripped on a bamboo spoon, or like 18,000 of them.
so I guess Nick and I will probably kind of bounce around some of our favourite moments. But again, given it was your first time, obviously you enjoyed the experience of being with a group. But in terms of the film itself, like, which characters jumped out at you? Which moments were you like, are your favourite moments in the film? I'm really keen to hear someone who's watched as many times as I have, and I know Nick has, like, what were the bits that you enjoyed the most in the film, and who were your characters?
I think the things that made me laugh the biggest, like at the utmost, just I guess it would have been a combination of what was happening on screen, who was saying it, but also the audience. I think straight to my mind, I laughed every time someone said, like, "Hi, Denny, bye, Denny." I just thought it was because every moment you do want him to piss off, he gave me the ick. And so every time I was like, bye, like, leave. And so I found that really funny as it just continued on. It didn't get like old and stale. It just got like more rewarding every time. And I had a big belly laugh at there was a moment where we meet Peter. They're just in the room and you're just like, who the fuck is this guy? But all of a sudden one of the audience members yells out, touch all the CDs. And then there's a delay of like 1.5 seconds or 2-second delay. And the character Peter turns around and like taps his hand up a stack of CDs on like a CD rack up the wall. And he just really delicately like caressy taps them all the way up. Or there was another moment where we were running through a park and the same guy yelled, don't look at the guy looking at the grass. And then there's about 4 seconds of Tommy Wiseau running through a park and the camera slowly pans and we see like a bench and then it zooms out a little bit wider. And there's this like creep standing at the side of the path with his back to us in a trench coat just looking down at the grass. And the goiter bit, I was not prepared.
I'd never noticed that before. Like,
I didn't notice for like half the scene. I didn't know what they were talking about. And then when it finally clicked, I reckon I almost choked. I think, did I grab your shoulder and like,
yeah,
did I grab you? And I was
like, yeah,
massive. What's going on there?
but I think it's the angle as well. I think like because her neck's kind of like pushed that way. Yeah, if anyone in the film does lose out, it's definitely her. Like she cops at the worst. Like, she's had she has like 5 nude scenes which are immortalized forever in that movie. Well, there's that moment in the audience participation where they're just like, because you're a woman, because it is deeply misogynistic.
I like that both of you warned me. You're both like, okay, there's a really like full-on-ish, graphic-ish sex scene right at like the first 15 minutes, and both of you individually warned me.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, like, just a heads up.
I was like, do I need a warning? But yeah.
You're going to have a great time, but in the first 4 minutes, there's
I'm really going to be affronted with this sex scene.
Yeah. And I don't think we undersold it. Like, we didn't spoil it because you need to see Tommy to really appreciate him, but we did warn you to some level.
At one point in the film, I leant over to Nick and I was like, are all the sex scenes done? Just because I was like, they went on too long. Like, they weren't too awkward sort of at the start of each one. You're like, okay, but they sort of just linger and go on a bit too long that you're like, okay, fade to black, like we're good now.
Yeah.
And I leant to Nick and I was like, are they all done? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And then he forgot to tell me about like right at the end where he gets his hands on the dress. And I was like, Nick, liar. And he's like, I forgot.
Well, also the third or fourth sex scene is just the first one repeated and flipped, I think. Yeah.
I really liked the mother.
Claudette?
I thought she was fun as.
I knew before you sound like she's going to love Claudette. Like I think most people's spirit animal in this film is she's the one.
She just has no fucks to give and she will say whatever's flown into her brain, she's going to say it. I love her.
So many opinions, especially about Denny. I rewatched
marriage,
I rewatched The Disaster Artist after we saw The Room. I don't know if did you get a chance to watch it, Maddie? Disaster Artist?
Not yet, no.
So Josh Hutcherson from The Hunger Games plays the actor who played Denny. And there's a scene, and he's like, just so I understand, like, how old am I supposed to be? And Tommy was like, a boy like your age. Like, little boy like you. And he's like, I'm 25. It's like, okay. Like,
Because you look at him, you're like, how old is this guy?
yeah.
It's
So strange.
And also I remember leaning over, I don't know, to you or to Nick when they were in their tuxedos, and I'm like, what are they? Is it the wedding day? And both of you were like, no. I'm like, why are they in their tuxedos?
Just watch. It'll all be explained.
You were like, it doesn't matter. And Nick was like, they're doing their photos early? I don't know.
I feel like the answer to any question you have about the room is like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Whatever question you have, it does not matter.
It doesn't matter. Nobody knows. Only Tommy knows. Okay.
Yeah.
It was like the hero. It was like the hero scenes of the film, like all squashed together in this sort of teaser.
Yeah. Yeah. There's this charity in Hollywood, I think, and what they do is they raise money by like kind of making these short adaptations of classic films, and previously they've done things like The Godfather and Lawrence of Arabia, but Bob Odenkirk was like, can I do The Room? Like that's what he wanted to do, and just played super straight. I can't remember who else was in it. I know the girl from School of Rock was the waitress. I remember that. I said to Matt, I'm like, that's the girl from School of Rock.
And I couldn't unsee it from then on. I'm like, it's the bassist.
Yeah.
Girl. Yeah.
Katie with the bass. Yeah, I'd heard about it because when I was preparing for this episode and preparing to go into the movie, I was doing a little bit of extra research because I can't say I won't say too much, but we were trying to get a special guest on the show, so I was doing a lot of extra work, and I found this remake thing. I'm like, what is this? I've got to ask about this. And then they showed it to us. I was like, oh my God, this is the remake thing. And I really enjoyed it.
It had like a sort of a film noir treatment sort of to it, and yeah. Yeah, it was fun to sort of watch that first, and I was watching it being like, okay, is this like, what's this about? I didn't quite get it until then. Yeah, they spoke about what it was about, and yeah.
My only concern about it, sorry, go on. It's Peter, I think.
Peter, yeah.
Yeah. No. Oh, yes. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Because sorry, Peter falls over later. That's what I'm thinking. Yep. Yeah.
Or when Greg and or Mark and Tommy go jogging, and then they toss the football around, and suddenly they start wrestling, and you're like, okay, but they're still buddies, they're still best friends.
Yeah, the Peter falling, I'm pretty sure, because at the end of the scene he goes, "That's it, I'm done." Apparently, the urban legend or the rumor is that isn't a line of dialogue. That is the guy being like, "I'm not in this movie anymore." He's literally resigning from the film on screen, and Tommy just left it in. Because the character who shows up at the party later, the one who everyone was calling Mark Ruffalo, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Peter. He was just recast.
That's his replacement.
Yeah. Like, and
everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy?
And no one cares about continuity, so they're just like, yeah, it's just he's a shapeshifter. Go on, yeah. Yes. Before you do,
yeah, go on.
Before you do, Maddie, I just want to say, because when it starts, Nick, you probably remember everyone cheers. Like everyone's like, yes, and Maddie goes, "What's going on?" I'm like, "This is the best scene in the movie."
Car pulls up at the front, and the whole audience was like, "Yay!"
Yeah, the Maddie's like, "Literally, I don't get it. What's going on?" I'm like, "You will."
Yeah, it was just. It's like nobody thought to take a breath between any sentences whatsoever. It's like, excuse me, we're going to do this scene, and what I want you to picture is that all the words that you say must all be connected by a string, and there must never be a breath or a pause. You must never stop moving. The camera must never be quite focused in center or whatever. Like, it was just like, there is to be no pausing, no stops, no starts. Just go, flowing like a river. And everyone was just like, and moving and tapping, and yeah, and you just watch it like, do they even see each other? Like, is the flower shop lady, does she even know he's there? Because they're just kind of saying things past each other. Like, yeah. And what's the name of the cat? He pats the cat.
He goes, "Nice doggy."
Oh, nice doggy.
Hi, doggy. That's right. Yeah, hi, doggy. Bye-bye. You're my favorite customer.
It's just so like, almost like it was filmed with the two of them on different sides of the planet.
I sent you guys a video. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but someone did like a 10-minute analysis of the film, everything wrong with the room. And in that sequence, they're like, the flower shop owner says she didn't see it was Johnny, yet no one on the planet looks like Johnny. Like, how does she not recognize him?
I was taken aback by him because I've only ever seen maybe like one or two really tiny shitty pictures here and there or whatever. So seeing him on the big screen, I was a little bit shocked. I will
because
say
he was so desirable.
If you're into melted crayons, yeah, sure. The whole time it just looked like a man with melted crayon all over him walking around in a bad wig. And it was like, no, that's what he looks like. And I was just very, I've never seen anyone who looks like him before.
It looks like someone left a candle in a window. Like
basically. Or like a packet of melted crayons on the pavement. Like, it was just wild. And I just, again, like what Nick said of just his pure, like, belief in himself and resolve in what he's doing. And he's clearly completely unaffected by anything going on in his peripherals. Like, dude has blinders on, and the noise that's in the peripherals don't tarnish any, like, they don't get into his armor. They just don't. You can tell. And even the way he walks around and acts in the film, you can tell that almost it's like these co-stars actually they're not even there to him. He's doing his thing. And it's wild. It's mesmerizing. It's wild.
And that seems to be his style because, yeah, I watched Best Friends, which was written by Greg Sestero, and it was, I think I was telling you guys, it was so bizarre watching it because the film is shot beautifully. Like, everything that The Room is, this film is not. Like, it's shot beautifully, like, there's establishing shots and well-used montage work, and just, like, it's a real film. Like, it's a proper film. And then Tommy walks into a scene, and you're like, he is in a different movie to everyone else because everyone's reading their dialogue. I don't think Tommy Wiseau memorized any of the dialogue for that film because every scene he's like, ha 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 ha. Anyway, like, he does that signature laugh he does in The Room, which I think is his coping mechanism. Just like, I don't know how to end this scene. I'm just going to laugh, which is why you get weird lines like, she got beaten up. Oh, what a story, Mark. Like, weird things like that. The dude is an enigma. He's the enigma.
He's looking good. He's looking tall. He's got good hair. Still got good hair. Good tan. Good height. Good eye contact. Very kind of calm. Like, he does sort of put you at ease, and he's very calm, which I thought was really not taken seriously.
Yeah, he was very sweet. Like, it was so funny, like, lining up. I found myself getting nervous, and I don't know why I found myself I'm like, I wasn't in the room. You know what I mean? Like, why am I nervous? Like, he's up on the screen amongst all the oddities of this film, and, you know, we're just going to meet the guy. But I think because, like, I genuinely enjoy the film, I genuinely enjoy his work, I did find myself getting nervous, and then within seconds, he was just really lovely, and we were like sharing stories with him. Like, we told him how Maddie had never seen the film, and I think we might have talked about it on the show, but Nick, you and I would say our friendship maybe didn't begin with The Room, but definitely solidified with The Room because we both kind of talked casually about films and stuff, and then when we both realized we liked The Room, we're like, oh, now we're like, okay, you're part of the secret club as well. Okay, this is kind of cool. And so we got to tell him that story. But no, he was just a really nice guy. And he seems to love doing it. Yes, I bought his book because I've never read The Disaster Artist, so I've got that, and he signed it for me. Yeah, it's a good old time. So I don't have anything else to add to that. I don't have much more. Is that it? Have we covered everything? We want to talk about The Room? Surely there's other...
Oh, man. I really, look, if I keep thinking back to when if people said, have you seen The Room? The flashbacks in my mind that come back are the rooftop scenes. So yeah. I do think of the whole I did not. I do think of when they just come up and it's just him and Tommy talking, or him and Greg talking. I do think of when Denny and the drug dealers up there. Like, yeah. Yeah, any of the rooftop.
Make sure you remember the R.
Any of the rooftop scenes. they feel more iconic to me than any of the internal.
Yeah.
Like, the internal scenes have still got some iconic bits to them, but the rooftop scenes seem very iconic, that I think they will stay the longest in my memory.
The insanity definitely is unleashed once they get outdoors. Zac Efron, by the way, plays Chris R in The Disaster Artist, so look forward to him being a rage-induced monster for a good couple of minutes. He's really good in it as well. I probably tend to agree. I don't know if I have one singular favorite moment in the flick, but I mean, You're Tearing Me Apart is genius. Like, just absolutely, and like, is the fact that he lifted it from a James Dean film as well. Like, what a great, a great little piece of trivia. Yeah, like the standout moment. That's probably the standout moment for me. But I'm like you, Nick. I've now seen it so many times. I'm always interested in the little things that you don't catch the first time. Like I said to Maddie at one point when they had the when Johnny was spiraling out of control. I was like, get ready for the picture frame to fall on the camera. And Maddie goes, what? And then you said the picture frame fall, and it doesn't topple any further because it just landed on the camera.
Just leaning at a diagonal.
Yeah, so little bits like that. Those are my favorite things to look for now as well. But I just really love it. It brings me nothing but joy. It's a lot of fun. What about you, Nick? Yeah. You just reminded me, I'd completely forgotten about the recording subplot where he records the tapes and everyone in the audience starts singing the Mission Impossible theme.
I love that it gives everyone just permission to enjoy the absurdity. It literally is like, if you're here, if you're watching this, leave all your opinions at the door, leave your expectations at the door, come in and have fun. And it just does. It just encourages you to just roll with it and enjoy it. You can't not.
Yeah. Well, Nick and I used to work with a guy, and and he was also really into film as well. And I brought up The Room multiple times, and he was so judgmental. He's like, "Why would you waste your time with that? It's such rubbish and stuff." And it wasn't even me being like, "Oh, you don't get it," because there's nothing to get with The Room. Like, it wears itself on its sleeve. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no games with The Room. You know exactly what it is. He just clearly didn't enjoy. I was like, oh, dude, like, anyone can enjoy this film. Like, my brother, who is not a film guy at all, he's the only member of my family not to do the podcast. Like, film is not his thing. I showed him The Room, and he was like, this is amazing. Like, how do I not know about this? 100%. I would also recommend people check out The Disaster Artist. It's a really fun, heartfelt tribute to The Room. And that includes you, Maddie. You'll have to watch it as well.
And what a glorious little, experience, little treasure that now I get to keep the first time, because everyone remembers where they were the first time they watched it. And so the first time I got to see it, it was with you guys. It was with a good audience. It was a good time out. We had dinner before. James drove me in, so we had good old car chats. It was just all round. What a lovely little treasure I get to keep now.
It was a really nice night. I was going to start the episode with this, and then we were dealing with this new system. So I was like, just talk about The Room. We'll talk about it. But on the drive home, I was just running my mouth off, basically. I said to Maddie at one point, I'm like, I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. But I was like, man, what a really lovely experience. I got to go and see a film that I really like with two of my favorite people in the world. And you guys know me. I'm very much I like my personal contact 2 meters away from me. I'm not a touchy-feely person. I gave Maddie a big old squeezy cuddle at the end of the night. I was like, this is just I just had the loveliest time with my best friends. And it was just a really nice experience. And I apologized to Maddie multiple times about all the shit I was saying for the last hour in the drive home.
I was loving it. I was like, keep talking. I'm falling asleep. That's why I'm quieter. I was just quiet because I was falling asleep. And he took it as a sign of she doesn't like what I'm saying. I'm like, no, I'm just.
You're like, tell me a story. Put me to sleep.
No, it was really good. It was a really fun day.
Did we lose you, Nick? No, you're... Maybe?
He's turned his camera off so he can pick his nose.
Yes. That is classic Nick Owen behaviour, so...
One day you won't have me shit stirring everything.
I guess that'll do it. The next episode, I don't know what our next show will be. We've got one of Nick's recommendations we can do. We still need to talk about Superman and Fantastic Four, and I know we did last summer, and Weapons. Nick and I went to the Weapons premiere since this as well. So we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about, and part of me is wondering whether we take Maddie further down the rabbit hole, Nick, because I do have Birdemic, and I wonder whether that's the next step.
We'll think about it. We'll think about it.
The next...
Well, from the pest to the room to then... Do we... Maybe we want to dig up a little bit.
Dig up. I've changed. Because what we've been doing on the show, and if for those who haven't been paying attention, is we've been trying to bring a favorite film of ours that not many people have seen. So Maddie did The Pest. Following the room, I have changed mine a few times. I do have a step up. I've got a favorite of mine that's really good, but not a lot of people have seen it. So I don't think you would have seen it, Maddie. Nick may have seen it. We'll find out. But yeah. Any final thoughts, Nick Owen, or are you happy for me to pack this in? All right. Pack it in. There we go. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for your patience. We're trying new recording software, as I might have mentioned before. We're trying to upgrade things, so we're still figuring out all the kinks and wrinkles and stuff like that, but we'll get there. If you haven't seen The Room, go and watch The Room. It's free. It's on YouTube right now. Join the conversation. Have your life change forever. I don't know who my next guest is, but I've got a ton of wonderful guests coming up. So there's something good coming your way very, very soon. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on YouTube. We just crossed 12,000 views on YouTube, so thank you for those who've been watching our videos there. You can follow us on TikTok. We're closing in on 100 followers, which is kind of nice. I don't understand TikTok at all, but we're starting to get some nice things going on there. And that... Yeah, absolutely. We're going to start... We'll do those TikTok dances. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the podcast. Thanks again for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Back to the future, Midsommar, Die Hard dude. Where's my car? The Matrix, Jurassic Park, and Clerks, and Christopher Nolan's collected works. I was a teenage film snob, baby. I was a teenage